Hey, welcome to the show, live from Dennis's house, the world's only record review show, comedy show, news show, live musical performance show in the entire world. Every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. I have my own channel, live from Dennis's house. Everyone go watch it and check it out. Today, I have a special guest. I have my sister, Maryellen Morgillo Benkert. And today we're going to be doing the New York Dolls. Hold up the album. Listen to that. This is called Personality Crisis. Let's listen to a little here. It's a tradition we smell the album as well, too. Smell that. Doesn't that bring you back?
It's rather musty.
Yeah. So, let me say why I wanted to do this album today. That this past week on Tuesday, maybe lower this a little. This past week, Tuesday night, me and my fellow bandmates, we went to see the former member of the New York Dolls. We saw Sylvain doing an acoustic show at Asbury Lanes, along with the former Sex Pistol Glenn Matlock. So they did an acoustic show, and we were going to have my bandmates, John and Doug, on the show, and we were going to do the Sex Pistols album. But they canceled, and I had no guest, and you happened to fill in. And you are a New York Dolls fan, and it all worked together. It all worked out anyway. So,
like it was meant to be.
Yes, it was meant to be. That's how I go.
I'm thrilled and honored to be a guest on your show.
Yes.
Actually, it's about time, but whatever.
Yeah. So, let's, I want to talk about that, how people are so unreliable, that I'm starting this new thing here, that I don't even get upset about it anymore, because I just assume people are going to be unreliable.
Right.
And especially I deal with a lot of musicians who are extremely unreliable, and even more so. I'm like one of the only reliable musicians in the world. Are you aware of this?
No, I was not.
Even when I was back living in Queens and out of control, I was still reliable. When I said I was going to do something, I did it.
That's right. You were out of control, reliably.
Very consistent.
Yes.
So let me hold up this poster, too, that we went to this concert. Look at this. It seems a little like you shouldn't be having a picture like that. Doesn't it seem like it's wrong? Someone might be upset about that?
I might take great offense to that. Very interesting.
Know. But it was an excellent show. It was a Tuesday night in the freezing cold, and we were like I don't know, the very few people that were there, and the guys walking right past us. They weren't so friendly. I really wanted to get them on my show. I thought this would be a good time to get them on my show, and I talked to them a little bit, but they weren't that friendly. So that's why you're here instead of them. Otherwise,
rock bottom.
All right. So let's go back. Let's listen to a little more New York Dolls, and then you could give us your experiences with the New York Dolls. Let's see. I like to lower this one a little. I like to give a trivia contest here. So, where did you grow up? Did you grow up in New York as well?
Yes, I did, in the borough of Queens, in a quaint little hamlet, alternatively called Laurelton or Rosedale.
You see, that was the thing where we grew up. That we didn't really know where we grew up because it could be called anything. Laurelton, Rosedale, Springfield Gardens,
absolutely,
Jamaica even sometimes.
Right.
So, but anyway.
It was confusing childhood.
Yes, and the New York Dolls were from New York as well.
Yes.
That actually, they were like from all different boroughs. That do you want to try and name the members of the band?
Well, the three easy ones are David Johansen,
right,
Sylvain, and Johnny Thunder.
Right, very good. See, and of course, the two people that you can't name are the bass player and the drummer.
Absolutely, right. Never knew who they were.
That happens a lot.
Yes.
So, let me see if I remember. David Johansen, he was from Staten Island. Johnny Thunders was from Queens.
Okay.
Sylvain, he was originally from Cairo, Egypt, and he moved to this country and moved to Queens.
Okay.
And then the original drummer was named Billy Murcia. He was from Brooklyn, and he OD'd in 1972 at the age of 21 when they were on their first tour in England.
Yes.
He was replaced by Jerry Nolan, and then the bass player is Arthur Kane, who is, I believe, from the Bronx. So
the borough of Staten Island is not represented as usual.
No, it was.
Neither is Manhattan.
David Johansen's from Staten Island.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why every borough was except Manhattan.
Oh.
You know, and that's pretty much the kind of way it works. Because I think the people that live actually in the borough of Manhattan, they're usually rich people, you know, and all the other boroughs produce the talented people and stuff, you know. Because like so many people from Queens, you know, Simon and Garfunkel are from Queens. The band Mountain is from Queens. All these rappers are from Queens. I think the Rascals are from Queens. And of course, me and you are from Queens too. So,
There you go.
So, this album came out. Let's see, when did this album come out? It came out in July 27th, 1973. And it was produced by Todd Rundgren. And do you know how the band got its name? That Sylvain worked in a boutique in Manhattan, and him and Johnny Thunders were taking the train back, and right near the boutique, they were taking the subway back to Queens. Actually, he told this story the other night when I saw him live. He said they were taking the subway back, and they passed the New York Dolls Hospital, which was to fix dolls, you know, your broken doll. And he says, look at that, Johnny, that'll be the perfect name for the band. And Johnny Thunders looks at it, the New York Dolls Hospital, that's ridiculous. That's a terrible name for a band. And he goes, no, just the New York Dolls. And then that was it. They stuck with it. So
Good for them.
that worked out good. So the New York Dolls, they started like in the early 70s. First, I want to see, did you ever see the New York Dolls?
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness! Oh, we got to get to this.
I
I didn't even recall this. This is awesome.
Yes. These were my formative years before I became ultra conservative. I was in high school in the 70s, in the early to mid 70s, and my best friend, Rosemary Acevedo, and I used to get dressed up and go to the clubs and go see the dolls.
Because I was reading about, of course, I was way too young for that. I was still playing with my G.I. Joe.
I am 10 years older than
Yes,
Matt.
this is my older sister. And
Dennis.
they said it was like it was something of an event to go see the New York
Yes,
Dolls, and
yes.
you were there to be seen as well as to see the New York Dolls.
And you had to dress properly. We invariably would put on dark velvet clothes, and you would have to put glitter in your hair.
There you go.
That was the big thing back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have giant platform shoes as well?
Absolutely.
See, there you go.
Absolutely.
See, that's how I guess that in this type of music, it was known as glam rock, as glitter rock,
Right.
and they were the inventors of this back in the early 70s. And, you know, I just always loved their music. It was just, you know, no nonsense. It was, you know, because at that time, back in the early 70s, there was a lot of shenanigans. There was a 20-minute drum solos and, like, all this, everyone trying to outplay the other people. And these guys just came out, and they did straight-ahead rock and roll, and they looked outrageous.
Yep.
And they lived like rock stars. That's why only 3 of them are still.
That's right.
2 of them are
That's
still
right.
alive now. Yeah.
In fact, the one I idolized was Johnny Thunders, and
Yeah, he was.
he's long gone.
Yeah, he. So I'll talk a little bit about each member here. David Johansen, he's still alive. He is. He's got a solo career. He had a solo career after. Well, the band, they put out 2 albums. Like, hold this album up. Look at them again. See, they dressed up in drag and all this kind of stuff, and they lived to excess here. And they only put out 2 albums, that one and this one. And they broke up around 1975 or so. And David Johansen went on to have a little solo career. Then he formed into Buster Poindexter. Remember that?
Hot, hot, hot.
Yes, I actually saw him in concert. That was very entertaining. And Sylvain. Actually, I saw David Johansen not too long ago in an acoustic show. Last year I saw him. He was phenomenal as well. And then Sylvain is still alive. Like I said, I just saw him Tuesday night. He put on a great show. He seems like a funny guy. He still looks good for however old he is. I'm not sure. And he was very charming and entertaining, and he told all these stories, and it was a really good concert. And who else? The Johnny Thunders. He went on to a solo career after the New York Dolls with the Heartbreakers and all this kind of stuff. And he was a known drug addict, and he OD'd in like 1991. He was like 38. But there's a controversy surrounding his death. I wasn't really even aware of this. That they believe there was foul play involved because he was found in the fetal position, like under a coffee table. But it was been so long since he died that he, what do they call that? When it sets in, rigor mortis set in. So he was in a pretzel shape when they carried him out, and the body bag was all in a pretzel shape and stuff. So, and then the last member of the band was Arthur Kane, who was the bass player. And he actually had some of the most interesting stories. Some of these stories I didn't even know. I just looked up that he was involved with this crazy girl way back when. And at one, Dee Dee Ramone told this story actually from this book.
Okay.
Yeah. This book, I recommend this book very highly. It's called Please Kill Me by Legs McNeil. And it's all about the punk rock scene and New York and London and all this stuff. And there's a whole chapter about the New York Dolls and all this kind of stuff and the Ramones. So this is one of the, I read one book a year usually. Okay. And this was one of my books that I read. And I recommend this one highly. But
borrow it.
So he had a fight with his girlfriend, and she tried to cut off his thumb so he couldn't play the bass anymore. Yeah. So, and what else? Oh, I know. After the New York Dolls broke up, he was, he had an alcohol problem and stuff, and he moved to L.A. and he couldn't get anything musically happening. So, and Buster Poindexter also, David Johansen became an actor. And he was in this movie, Scrooged. He was actually in Scrooged. And Arthur Kane, the bass player, was like, David Johansen was his enemy. And he saw that he was in this movie, he was watching it, and he got so upset, he jumped out a second-story window, and he got really injured. There was, let me see what happened here. There was like a planter box, partially broke his fall, but the impact caused slight neural damage and affected his speech. And then, a few years later, he was walking home from a Red Hot Chili Peppers party, and he was attacked, and he was found later in a ditch near his apartment, and he had severe injuries. He had to have physical therapy and all this stuff. And the rumor was that he was attacked in the Rodney King riots, but it wasn't that. It was just some random mugging and stuff. So, and then they got back together for a reunion concert. The remaining guys that were still alive, I think it was 2004. And then he died like 22 days after that. He thought he had the flu, and he went to the emergency room, and he died 2 hours later. So that was that. So let's get back to some songs now. So what's your favorite New York Dolls song?
Personality Crisis.
Yeah, there you go.
We were all having one back in those days.
So do you remember where you went to see them?
No, I don't remember the name of it.
Because I know they played a lot at Max's Kansas City.
Could have been there. Could have been there.
I can't believe our parents allowed you to go to such an event.
That would have been on Fifth Avenue down in the teens. Actually, it's highly doubtful that our parents would have known I was there.
You're going out to study?
Right.
So, put that up. Let's turn on the other side. Listen to some more stuff. So, you want to talk about growing up in Queens? So you are the second born in our family.
Yes.
And you had 4 brothers.
Right.
So what was that like? I must have been something.
I basically just stood and watched all the time while you guys ran amok.
So obviously, I was your favorite brother, but what was it like to be the favorite child? Because you were the only girl, so it was clearly you were the favorite child.
Yes, I was the only one who had my own room. So
wow.
That was very nice. Well, I guess until the second floor was built, and then I think Robert got his own room for a while. But for my entire life, I had my own room, which was very nice.
Yeah, and I had to share with 2 other guys.
Yeah, I think
at least.
For a while there were 2 sets of bunk beds in the other bedroom, but I had my own room.
Is it true that our house burned down when I was a baby as well? I hear these rumors of this.
It did not burn down, but the second story, while it was being constructed, did go up in flames. It was an extremely dry summer, and we believe that one of the workers had left a cigarette butt in the midst of all the debris, and it went up in flames.
Wow. And wasn't there a story that my grandmother had to save me? I was a baby
yes,
this time, and she had to
I
scoop me
was
up.
coming home from somewhere, and I saw the house was up in flames, the second story.
Wow.
And but Grandma and the little babe were already safe outside. Ultimately, none of the first floor was affected by the flames themselves, but actually incurred more water damage from the firefighters trying to put the flames out.
Wow.
So it was a little it was unlivable for a while, and we all went up. Mom and Dad knew someone who had a summer house upstate New York, and we all trotted up there for a while, and that's where you have the famous scene.
Oh, right. I remember those
throwing
videos.
Batman over the...
Yeah, they had this whole movie of me being up there in a crib, not a crib, a playpen, throwing this Batman doll over the side and
making us
yeah,
all run for
down for it.
Time and time again.
So, and do you recall that you took me to my first concert ever? Well, actually, my first 2 concerts.
Tell me about them.
Refresh
my memory.
My first concert ever when I was like 7 or 8, I guess. You, again, with your friend Rosemary and her sister, you took me to go see David Cassidy at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, what a good sister.
Yes, I still have the playbill here. It's downstairs. I should have gotten it out for today's show, but that was that. And then the second concert you took me to was the Rolling Stones. You and Robert, my oldest brother,
that
Robert,
I remember.
took me to go see the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
David, which one did you like better?
At each moment, I'm sure I liked wherever I was at the time.
Yes, so I have to say you were a very nice sister. You always treated me nicely. You were never a jerk, like the brothers were and stuff. So.
And I do encourage you taking your children to concerts to enjoy the music that you enjoy. Mm-hmm. My husband Al and I, we have 2 sons, and we've gotten them to concerts since they were very little. And to this day, they still love to go to concerts with us, besides the fact that we pay. It is fun. And so...
I'll go with you if you're paying.
Yeah, we regard ourselves as having taught them right. We highly encourage
That's
it.
the thing. You raise the kids properly, they'll always have a good foundation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got to tell some funny stories about you now. The funniest story I recall was when...
I take the right to censor this. Go ahead.
It's live TV, whatever I say goes on. When you were a teenager and you were moody at this time.
I was awful. Let me interrupt. My mother, although I had my own room, once said that I was worse than all 4 of my brothers put together.
Oh, my goodness.
There you go.
Wow, I never heard that. Yeah, because
was,
you were always like the favorite. I was Grandma's favorite, but you were Mom and Dad's favorite.
Well, that was because of my academic record.
Right. And your non-police record.
That's right.
So yeah. So all right, we went on vacation, and you were a teenager.
This is the Niagara Falls story.
I forget where it was.
It was Niagara Falls. This is the.
We always tell this one.
The bed, right?
Nah, don't ruin it. So we were on vacation somewhere, and you were all moody and
Niagara
stuff.
Falls.
And you didn't want to come out with us, and we went out somewhere one night, and you said, "No, I'm staying in the room," and you're all crabby and stuff. So we got back. We forgot our keys or something. We were banging on the door. And you got all in a huff. You came out of the bed because you were in a fold-away bed there.
Yes.
So you came huffing over to the door, and you opened the door, and then you went running back to get into the bed, and you jumped into the bed, and the bed folded back up on you.
A true story.
Yes, and you were stuck in there screaming, and we were all laughing hysterically at you.
Yes, yes.
So that was a good memory.
Can't argue with that one.
Yes, and then I remember you went to NYU for college, and it was right around the same time as this, when The Exorcist came out, and you were visibly shaken by The Exorcist. It was the scariest movie ever, and you had to move back home, and it was all this traumatic stuff. You almost had to drop out of college because of it, right?
This is indeed true.
And then when you came home, Robert, my oldest brother, jumped out and scared you or something.
And I started to cry. That movie, and I'm sure it would do so to today, scare me again.
Did you ever get over it? Did you watch it again?
No, I would never watch it again.
Wow, that's something. 20 years later.
And it has to do with, you don't realize it. You're born Catholic. You're raised Catholic. You believe that stuff, and it's scary.
Yeah, that's definitely the scariest movie ever. Yeah. Although I wonder, if kids today would find it scary. I'm afraid to let my kids watch it, but
they might not find it scary, but nevertheless,
you did.
I'm not going to check it out again.
I think you should watch it again. I think we should all get together and watch it and see what happens.
Yeah.
So. And I understand you're a fan of my tattoo also.
Absolutely.
I have a Raised by Wolves tattoo here, and we both had the same parents. So
which I don't remember. I don't remember the wolves, but...
See, but you got to know that, since having 5 kids, our parents were tired by the time they got around to me. And living through the first 3 older boys.
I'm glad they had him, but they shouldn't have had him.
Hey, you can't say that.
I just did.
I'll have to edit that out.
No. But I said the right thing. I said I'm glad they had you, but they shouldn't have had you. It's the truth. They were indeed too tired. They were old and tired.
Yeah, so I pretty much ran wild, But look, I'm a grown man, responsible man now. Children are my own now. So yeah. I would like to listen to another song here. This is a song I want to listen to. This song is called Pills. It's one of my favorite ones. This is another story that Sylvain told at the concert. He was saying that Bo Diddley wrote this song. It's a cover that they're doing. So one night they were playing at my father's place on Long Island. You remember that club?
No.
Well, I think it was in Roslyn, Long Island. And they were playing there, and someone told them that, after the show, Bo Diddley is playing down the road a piece, so they should go check him out. So they have these giant, obviously they look like this, and hold up the album cover again. They look like that, and they're standing in the front row, and Bo Diddley's playing along, and he doesn't know who these guys are at all. And they start yelling out Pills. The name of the song is Pills. So they're like, Pills, Pills, Pills. And he thinks they were like these crazed drug addicts.
Which they were.
Yeah, exactly. But he forgot the name of his song was Pills. So he called security and they were dragged out and thrown out in the street. Yes. So actually, I am going to perform a Johnny Thunder song later on after this. Would you like to sing along with me or anything?
No.
Or you're good?
I am not a musician. Dennis took all the musical talent that was... allocated to our family.
Yeah.
He just took it all.
So yeah, we were gonna perform with my whole band and stuff, but since they let me down as usual, I have to perform by myself. Exactly.
Sisters never let you down.
See, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm forming a house band, and this way, even when people who are not musical come over or whatever, I do the show myself. I'll always have a musical live performance to show also. So. Anything else you want to talk about? You want to talk about some news stories? All right, did you hear that you're not a fan of the Housewives of New Jersey? I know that. You don't watch trash TV like that?
No.
Well, anyway, Joe and Teresa, the two main people, pled guilty recently to fraud charges.
And I think they're going to deport Joe.
Yes.
But hooray for us.
See, this is...
I hope they deport him from New Jersey back to New York or something.
Staten Island. No, he's from Italy
Yes.
originally. So, see, and this goes to show you cannot taunt the government. You can kill people all you want, and you can get away with it. You can't taunt the government when it comes to taxes and money and all that kind of thing.
I especially know whereof we speak. I am an accountant,
right.
a tax accountant in particular, and
Yes.
since the days of Al Capone,
Exactly.
don't mess with the tax man.
Yes, they'll absolutely get you. And like one of the first episodes, they have this big giant mansion, and they order all this fancy furniture, and he's paying in cash, $100,000 in cash to the guy in his living room,
Right.
handing it out. So, you know, and then to be unlikable as well, they're going to come after you. You know,
Right.
see, like if I was to do that, they wouldn't come after me because the people IRS watch this and say, oh, he seems like a nice guy. We're not going to bug him.
So what other news stories do you
So
have?
there was this is a good story. That in Mexico, 4 men were having this wild party. They were partying for days. They were drinking, doing drugs, and all this stuff. And they were pulled over by the police. And it turns out one of the guys had died sometime during this period, and the other people didn't even know. So he's still laying in the back seat, sitting up, propped up, you know. And
Isn't that a movie? Like
that's
Bernie?
what they said. Yes, this
Weekend
is
with Bernie.
that's Weekend at Bernie's. They're calling this news story on the
Okay.
Post, Weekend at Bernardito's. And so these guys got arrested for all these crimes, and also they tried to bribe the police and all of this stuff. So, but of all of that, the thing that I find most shocking is that they tried to bribe the cops with $60, and the cops did not take the bribe. Is the most shocking part, because you know how corrupt Mexico is, that they always take those bribes. So that's what I found to be the most shocking. And then you are a fan of Pee Wee Herman also, right?
Of course.
Remember that movie? That great movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and that awesome bicycle that he had?
Right.
Well, that bicycle went up for sale, and it sold for $25,000 on eBay just last week.
Okay.
So-
Hope the proceeds went to a good cause.
Yeah, to
Lining
getting
somebody's
Pee-wee
pockets.
Herman out of jail, yeah. He's had a lot of troubles himself there.
Yes, yes.
So, and the last story I have is this guy is in hot water in Brooklyn because he tattooed his dog. That he was a tattooed artist, and his dog was having some sort of procedure or surgery or something, so he was under anesthesia anyway. So he convinced the veterinarian to let him tattoo the dog. So while he's sleeping, he shaved it off, and he gave him a tattoo of it was a heart with a ribbon on it, and it said Alex and Mel. You know, I guess that's him and his dog's name or whatever. So obviously this guy is in, you know, big trouble from everybody, you know, for tattooing a dog. So I guess, you know.
I don't know how I feel about
Yeah,
that.
I think that you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because the dog's not asking for that.
That's
you
right.
know,
The
you're
dog
doing
has
something,
no say in the matter.
right, and it's going to hurt the dog when he wakes up. He's going to be like, you know, what is this?
Yeah.
And what happens if he like breaks up with the guy? Then he's stuck with that tattoo on his arm
Right.
for forever. So,
Right, right.
yeah, so that's all the news stories I have. And you know that this time has gone by already. It's almost time to say goodbye already. So we better play some more songs. You want to talk about anything else before we go?
No.
That this is, you know.
Well, I
what-
do want to shout out
Go
to
ahead.
my other brothers, Michael, Thomas, Robert.
Yes, we'll have to have them. I'm thinking maybe we'll have one big show sometime around Christmas. Maybe we'll all come on and do something. So this when this first came out, it was not the critics kind of liked it and stuff, but it wasn't, you know, never broke the top 100, you know. But over the years, they've gotten a lot of credit for it and a lot of influence over other bands. You know, they could have started punk rock.
Yeah.
They was influential back then, and they started this whole glam thing, turned Bowie and Lou Reed onto that, and even 2 albums and out, but they were hugely influential. And this is in the top 500 albums of all time. Their song, I think, Personality Crisis, in the top 100 songs of all time. So over the years, they've gotten the credit they deserved. And I highly recommend this album. I would say every collection must have the New York Dolls in it. Oh, did you notice that too? Look back here. You can't see it. It's too small. But it's the original sticker on there right here. And it's from Alexander's Department Store. $3.99.
Where Thomas used to work.
Yes,
so maybe we
my
got
brother
it at
Thomas
a
worked
discount,
there. No,
too.
they never gave us discounts. Not on records. So that is that. So, well, thank you for coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
Let's hold up our cups. Live from Dennis's house. We'll be performing a song and a whole bunch of stuff now. And next Sunday is going to be my big St. Patrick's extravaganza, if you will, because I'm going to be playing a song with a complete Irish drum and bagpipe band.
No shillelagh?
I don't know what that is, but I'm looking for a what's the dress that the men wear? A kilt. Everybody have a kilt. Same thing. Irish people.
No.
They wear it every parade. They wear the kilt.
The kilt is Scottish.
Well, it's the same thing. And I need to get one of those. And we're going to be doing the Dropkick Murphys, the famous Irish punk band. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, now that's it. Our time is up. Thank you for coming on. See you next week. You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory by Johnny Thunders.
Doesn't pay to try. All the smart boys know why. Doesn't mean I didn't try. Just never know why. Feel so cold and alone. Baby, you're not at home. And when I'm home, big deal, I'm still alone. Feel so restless I am. Beat my head against a pole. Try to knock some sense down in my bone. Even though they don't show, the scars aren't so old. And when they go, they let you know. You can't put your arms around a memory. You can't put your arms around a memory. You can't put your arms around a memory. Don't try. Don't try. Just a bastard kid, and you got no name. 'Cause you're living with me, and we're one and the same. Even though they don't show, the scars aren't so old. And when they go, they let you know. You can't put your arms around a memory. You can't put your arms around a memory. You can't put your arms around a memory. Don't try. Don't try.